Hi Cosatan. So in this video I wanted to go over a few steps in the Cumulative Assessment Project for Chapter 3 entitled Academics that have to do with the steps related to mail merge. Mail merge is a really cool feature. It allows you to create one document, which I've got before me here, so I've completed steps 1 through 16 of this project already. And once I've got my source document, right, my original document ready, I can reproduce this document for several recipients. So if I scroll up here, we can see that this right now doesn't have any recipients. It's sort of a general memorandum that's been created. And we want to be able to send this out to several different people, even though it's the same exact information. So I'm going to start with step 17 of the grader project. So it says in step 17, begin a mail merge for the letters using faculty.xlsx as the data source. Okay, so I'm looking for my data source here where I'm going to pull in information that's already been recorded somewhere else. Now to do that, I'm going to go into the Mailings tab because that's where my mail merge features are. And I'm going to let Word know that I want to start a mail merge, right? So I'm going to start with the letters here. So it says, okay, you want to start a letter? Yes, I do. And the file that I want to use here, when I go to select recipients, who's going to receive this? Well, that information is contained inside of a list, an existing list. And that list, as it happens, is already saved somewhere else. So what I've done is I've saved it onto my desktop here so that I've got my beautiful folder already ready to select from. And the instructions are telling me to be sure that I select, because I'm on a PC here, to select my XLSX document, right? So as I look at the very top here, I want to be able to make sure that I'm using the right faculty list. And so I want the Microsoft Excel worksheet, again, because I'm on a PC. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Open so that Word connects with this Excel spreadsheet that has all the information of the people that I want to send this to. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Open. And when I do that, Word notices that because this is indeed an Excel spreadsheet, that sheet 1 has information in it, and that is exactly the sheet that I want to connect to. So I'm going to go ahead and click on OK. And you'll notice that when I did that, all of these buttons here are no longer grayed out. Now I've got some information that I can click on, right? I've got some things that I can use. All right, so I've selected my recipient list, and now I'm going to move on to number 18. It says, click or move the insertion point before the paragraph mark following 2 on page 1. So I'm going to go ahead and scroll all the way back up to page 1. And again, this is a memorandum. I do want you to notice that there is, right now, I have my show and hide marker on, right, so that I can see all the tabs and all of the enters. Let's go back to mailings. So I clicked right in front of the enter, but after the tabs and 2, because that's where you put your information, or your title in this case. And it tells me here that I am going to, on page 1, click on the merge field of title. And that's in step 18. All right, so now that I've selected the type of letter that I'm working on, my recipients, right, I don't need to edit the recipient list, everything is good. I'm going to skip over a little bit here and go into my right and insert fields. In this case, I want specific individual fields. So I'm going to click on the drop-down menu, and there's the title that I'm being asked to use. And notice what happens when I click on title, right? I get just the title there, right? I don't actually have the title of the person who's receiving it, because it's pulling in that field, whatever's in that, whatever information is in that field, onto my page here. All right, so I've got title, and it tells me to press spacebar. So I'm going to go and do that now. And then it tells me to go into the merge fields again and choose first name. Got it, right? I've got my first name. And then the space bar. Notice that I have to press the space bar manually because mail merge doesn't do that for me. And then it tells me to put in the last name as well. There we go. So whatever's in my spreadsheet, their title, a space, first name, space, and last name. Great. Then it tells me in step number 18, to click before the paragraph mark following date and type April 14th, 2023. Okay, so in this case, because it is indeed a static date, I'm going to type it in, April 14th, 2023. Got it. All right, done with number 18. So again, this is the way it looks. Title, space, first name, space, and then last name. But who's receiving this, right? I want to preview my results. So when I preview my results, I'm not actually finishing the merge. I'm just going to see what it looks like here. Who's receiving this? So I'm done with the write and insert fields group here. So I'm going to move over to the preview results group. And I'm going to click on the preview results here to view my merged data. Again, this is not the finished product. We're just sort of previewing it. And there it is. Miss Paula Sand is the first recipient of our memorandum. Well, are there any other people who are receiving this memorandum? Well, let's see. If I click on the arrow here, I can go to the next record. Oh, there's Dr. Robert Lewis. And the next record, and there is Dr. Kelly Alexander. And if I click on next, it doesn't give me any other records. So it looks like we've got 3 recipients who are receiving this letter. Now, if you look at the very bottom in the status bar, it looks like there's 3 pages for this letter. So we've got 3 recipients, each receiving a 3-page memorandum there. Okay, so I previewed my results for step number 19, but now it tells me to finish the merge, and then it gives you a clue there. It says, editing the individual documents and merging all. So in this case, we don't need to edit anything. This is pretty good, right? We're not excluding any recipients, so we're just going to go ahead and finish the process. And then it gives you one more hint in the instruction. It tells you that you should have 9 pages in the merged finalized document, right? In this source document, we only have 3. But once we finish the merge, we should have 9. So now that I'm done with the preview results group here, I'm going to go over to the finish and merge. I'm going to click on that. And there was that clue, right? It told me to edit the individual documents. I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And there is nothing that I have to change here. Everything is good. So I'm just going to click on OK. And what you'll see now, it looks like it's the same thing. But if you look at the very top there, right? So your merged document has a different name than our original document. This one's called Letters 2. And if you look at the very bottom here where it says page 1 of 9, right? So this one is the document that has all 3 recipients. There's Miss Paula Sand, and there's her beautiful tables, and there's Dr. Robert Lewis, and then his beautiful tables, and then the last recipient is Dr. Kelly Alexander, and then again, her same beautiful tables. Right? So again, our letters 2 is going to be that finalized merged document. Okay. Now the next step is a little bit different, and this is we're doing this because we're submitting it to a grader who's going to make sure that we did everything the way we were supposed to do. So in step 20, you're asked to select all of the merged document and copy the selection, displayed selection, right? And we're going to go back to our original document and then paste all of that text, resulting in a 13-page document. Now, when I explain that, usually our letters 2 document is the one that we would save as our merged document and just print it out or send it out, whichever way we're going to do that, right? But again, we're doing this a little differently because we're doing this for our grader project and we have to submit it for grading. So, what are we being asked to do here? In in step 20, we're going to select all of the merged document and copy the selection. Let's do that. So I click anywhere inside of the document and I'm going to use my keyboard shortcut, the Control and A shortcut, right? If you're on a Mac, it's Command A, and that's usually universal. Control A is going to select everything there except what's in the header. We don't have any headers here to worry about, so we're okay. Then it tells me to copy that. So I'm just going to go ahead and either use the copy in my clipboard group here in the Home tab, or I can use my keyboard shortcut, which is Control and C for copy, and that puts that copy text onto my clipboard. And then it tells me to, again, step 20, to go back to my original document, the one that had my first and last name in it, right? So I'm going to click on right underneath there, and I'm going to go back to my original document, the one that only has 3 pages in it, right? And it's the one that, again, has my last name in it. And it tells me to go to the very end of that document, right? So move the insertion point to the end of the document and insert a page break. So I'm going to press my page down so that I can get all the way to the very end of the document. There it is. Or you can also press Control and End. And from there, it tells me to paste my selected text. So notice that my insertion point is blinking here right after my table caption. So I'm just going to go ahead and press Control and V for the paste function, or I could also go back to Home and paste it from there, right? Either one of those is going to be fine, but see how that's a keyboard shortcut of Control V. All right, so I'll Control V, and I've got all of my documents here, except I forgot one step here. it told me to insert a page break. Now, why did it do that? I want to show you. So we're going to go back all the way to the top of the document here. And we were here at the end of our table, right? Do you remember that? And if we don't insert the page break, it's just going to put it into that same page here. But if I do insert the page break, which is Control and Enter, then it moves my memorandum onto its own page, right? It keeps my table intact here. Okay, so I've got all of my information that I've pasted in here, and as I'm scrolling down, I can see actually here in my status bar that I do indeed have, after I've pasted my content into there, 13 pages, right? So if I scroll down, I'll also notice that the 13th page just has 2 extra enters. That's perfectly fine. Again, normally for our mail merge, we would not paste this onto the original document, but we're doing that for our grader to have something to grade for us. All right, now once I do that, I'm going to go ahead and save my document, right? Because I want to make sure that I save the information there. And once I've saved the information in there, and this is something I saved onto my documents, then you're going to go into your grader file and you're going to submit that to see how you've done. All right, good luck on the mail merge.